delaying the aging. So I'm going to bring my special guest, my good friend, Dr. Templeman in. Dr. Templeman is a consultant and advisor on the medical team at CTFO, especially specifically for XanthoMyst. He's a world-renowned expert in the XanthoMyst space. As when I talked about management team and getting that team and with Kevin and doing it better this time than that time, you bring the best people to the table. And Dr. Templeman, welcome to the team. Welcome to our Super Saturday. And we're ecstatic to have you as a leader on the team. So,
well, David, it is a pleasure to be here. I have been working with Mangosteen for over 20 years now. I'm a medical doctor, and so sounds strange that somebody would be working with a supplement, but let me tell you, the stories about it are absolutely astounding. And now we're seeing them come in about the product that you've developed.
Yeah, I just want to, Dr. Templeman, that's so right. And I just want to back up to give it the testimonials. We're being flooded with testimonials now. You and I talk about it all the time, the experiences people are having. But I just want to read one that's in the landing page, the XanthoMyst landing page from Catherine B. It exemplifies how potent in the body for change and health this product is. XanthoMyst, it allowed me to sleep, number one. Reduced my discomfort significantly, 2. It allowed me to resume my daily walks of at least 2 miles. 3, this is the same person. I no longer need anything prescribed, which you really shouldn't say, but then she says, my doctor has approved this decision. That is just the tip of the iceberg. And then if you look on the landing page with XanthoMyst, you'll see under Dr. Templeman's photo in that page, you'll see Dr. Zinni. Dr. Zinni is a functional and regenerative medicine chief medical officer, is involved with CTFO on our medical board. And let me just share with you what he says. In my integrative and functional medicine practice, I search for products that lead critical industry sectors. XanthoMyst BioDelivery Mist does just that. And finally, this is why I added XanthoMyst to mine and my wife's daily routine and highly recommend it to my patients. Try XanthoMyst yourself and you decide. Dr. Templeman, I'm going to start this off with my question that leads back to the cell story that I opened up with that I think is so potent itself.
Sure.
The work of life takes place in the cell. Can you explain what that means to all of us?
Yes, it's an expression that I've used for many, many years because when we understand that the best comparison you could make to a cell would be to think about a microscopic factory. When you look at a picture of a cell, and most of us have seen many illustrations, you realize that inside every cell there are organelles. Now, inside our body, we have our organs, and it keeps the body running. But inside every organ are trillions of cells that must do the work in order to allow the organ to function effectively. So if you think about cells, 7 trillion of them in the actual substance of our body, that's quite remarkable because everything in the body, even if you think of bones, organs, skin, nails, hair, blood, they're all manufactured initially inside cells. And these cells are so small that you cannot see them except with a microscope. And therefore, when we try and tinker with or improve the efficacy of something at the scale of the size of a cell, it becomes delicate chemistry and it becomes delicate engineering. And that is exactly what is happening.
Dr. T, tie it together with XanthoMyst and getting into the cell and the benefits of that.
Okay. Now let's make a very important distinction right now between drugs and supplements. They fit together only in one category, and that's in the general large category of healthcare. After that, they don't fit in any other category that is the same. Drugs are intended to go into the body and to interfere with ideally one small enzymatic reaction. And we know that unfortunately there are no drugs literally that do not have side effects. So being able, like a silver bullet, to go and do one single thing, that is not anything that the pharmacological industry has been able to do yet. So it goes in to interfere. Supplements do not go in to interfere with anything. As a matter of fact, they don't go in intended to do anything. They are the raw materials that the cells use to accomplish the purpose for which each cell is specifically indicated. So across all of the cells, you will be using raw materials, and the raw materials are called nutrients. And those nutrients in the mangosteen are extraordinary, not only because of the fact that there are some, the xanthones, that can be found in no other supplement in the world, but also because well-known supplements that well-known things that are considered supplements, whether we're talking tannins, whether we're talking proanthocyanidins, whether we're talking dozens, literally dozens of categories, are all represented in the mangosteen in quantities that make them important, which is why many, many years ago in 2002, my university professor partner, as he was going down the list of what was in the mangosteen, he said, "This is a superfruit." Well, that word superfruit had never been uttered before with regard to supplements, but now we know how it has been used and abused. But there is really, in my mind, and I know a lot about the fruit to be able to say this, there is only one true superfruit. And it's super because it has so much in it that the body uses in this raw material search that constantly goes on. And by the way, one of the most obvious causes of the degradation that takes place with aging, and it takes place at the level of the cell first in the body. And by the way, for those of you who are feeling like you haven't got a problem with it, it starts in your mid to late 20s. So yes, we're all on the downhill slope. And one of the things that causes this is a lack of adequate nutrients to be able to keep the cell in tip-top shape, changing as often as it needs to do, and still being effective as this minuscule factory that is going to produce everything that your body needs.
One last question before we close, and I hand it over to Stuart Finger. So into the cell, we designed XanthoMyst to be the most potent, most bioavailable mangosteen supplement ever brought to market. And we chose misting it onto the soft tissue in the back of your mouth to get it into your system. How much does that impact? Does size really matter when you have the highest potency? Does it multiply the effect?
Size is the most important factor. When you think about it, the whole digestive tract of the human body has as its primary purpose to take big things and make them small. And how small? Small enough to get into a cell, because that's where all the work is done. Now, I'm sure that there are a few of us who have, perhaps inadvertently, perhaps on purpose, looked into the toilet after we've eaten some corn. And they will see the efficacy of the human digestive tract, as marvelous as it is, sometimes does nothing except polish corn. And so when you depend upon the body to do its job, as remarkable as it is, you're going to get anything that you have put in that you want 100% of, you're going to get 5 to 8% at the very best, at the best of what the body can do. 32 feet of machinery to try and get what you need out of your food. And unfortunately, with the question of supplements, we don't do all that well. And we get 5 to 8%. Now, if you take that tremendous challenge of making big things small and you do it outside the body, and not only do you make them smaller, you make them so small that the body has no work to do in making them the size that would go into a cell. These things must be at the nanoscale. And that's what you've done with the mist. You've taken mangosteen and all of the goodness in it, and you have made it so small that the body has no other work to do except to get it in through a membrane. And that happens in the mouth and in the throat, maybe a little bit in the stomach, but it goes directly into the bloodstream without having to spend, quote, all the time in the 32 feet of the intestinal tract. And so therefore there's an immediate effect, but also it's going to be better looked after. And the process is one that is efficient. And when you got that and put it in, why would you not expect that giving the body what it needs is going to make all the difference in the world with what may be going wrong, or if the maintenance of the cellular structure of the body needs to be fed properly.
Dr. Templeman, that is absolutely fantastic. Thank you for your time again today. Thank you for spending time. You're unselfish. You're an absolute professional. You take a lot of time out on your day. People call me or they say, hey, can I talk to Dr. Templeman about XYZ or my health, or I have some issue. I just want everybody to know, Dr. Templeman says, Dave, send me them. If they're serious, send me. And he's talked to many of you and you all know. So we want to thank you and thank you for being a great member of the team. And we look forward to a bright future together. Thank you, Dr. Templeman.
You are quite welcome, David. It's been an honor.